Alrighty, so Yat A Shikedo do Shidene, Shea Nakai Nishle, Ado Nakai Bahe Basichin, Ado Bojigo de Shiche, Ado Nakai de Chanele, Cameo Mahia Yinishe, and I want to welcome you to the continuing on of day one of Career Builder Week. A little bit about Career Builder Week is Career Builder Week is a week where a career education program focuses on career building, really bringing their key mission to life. So today we're focusing on thinking, having students think about a career, having students maybe look into someone that's went down the career pathway. So that's what the next event is focusing on here. Our next event is a group of Ascendium former Ascendium paid internship interns who are now in their professional career. So as we get started here, I'm going to go ahead and I want to thank everyone once again for coming out and update you a little bit on our previous events that we just had. So our first event, we did just have our council delegate, Carl Slater, came and spoke with us. And then we moved into an event that we partnered with Arizona Native Vote. So Arizona Native Vote was able to bring some Arizona voter education and also some fun and games to campus. Really had some students involved in that. And then we had some lunch. So now we're to our Ascendium panel. So our Ascendium panel, we're waiting for one more panelist. But while we are waiting for one more panelist, I'll go ahead and I'll let our panelists go ahead and introduce themselves.
Yat a also she a Nolan Whitewater in she she in the slow be between the bushes chains najini dashiche although ye internet kachini dashnale. As Cameo explained, I was a intern, a part of the Ascendium paid internship program for I would say about 2 years, and a recent graduate as well here at the Neck College. I graduated with my bachelor's in business administration. Yeah, thank you.
Yad Vanessa Nazinsha. I am also a former Ascendium intern. I did an internship with the business office, and then the subsequent year I applied for an assistant position, and that is where I'm currently at. I've been there for about a year now. I'm a business administration major, and I will be continuing my studies with Neck College as well. Thank you.
Hello everyone, good afternoon. Nat Otanat Kachini Nishlet, Katnesahne Bashichin, Kenya Ani Dashichedo, Yaidanet Kachini Dashnala. My name is Christania Bigay. I am currently a student support specialist here at Saley Main Campus. And I was also a part of the Ascendium internship. Yeah, thank you.
Alrighty, so we'll go ahead and we'll get into our first part, our first question, and we'll go ahead and we'll give all three a chance to answer this question. So the way it'll work, the first question, we'll go ahead and we'll give all of you a chance. We'll pass the mic down after answering the first question, and then after that we'll come back to Nolan, and then we'll follow asking each other one of the questions from the Ascendium panel questions. So we'll go ahead and we'll start off with Nolan, and we'll ask all three panelists this question. So the first question is, what motivated you to apply for the Ascendium paid internship program while attending Neck College?
So with following the first question, I think with motivation comes with me being a student, learning, what career education program has to offer to students here at the Nick College. And with that, I was able to get that opportunity to be within the internships that they provided. And as well as, being able to just develop myself as a student, learn what it takes to be at that next level professionally within a workplace. So having that idea, then I just wanted to, get some experience, develop my skills a little more in workplaces, because, I had that thought, the intention of being where I am at right now. I had that, thought of, eventually one day I'm going to be in the position I am right now, if not even higher, in a higher position within any organization. And being a student here, like I said, in the program of business administration, I've begun to understand that, it takes a lot for you to learn, and you have to start somewhere of being a part of a business, as an employee, as a team member, a part of a team in an department. So I was beginning to, have that understanding of what it takes to, transition from being a student onto a employee at any organization, like I explained. So that was what, the main thing that motivated me in terms of having to develop myself as a student, and, in my position right now at the Learning Center and within the Nick College, I had that kind of perspective among myself back then. So, yeah.
The same question. What motivated you to apply for the Ascendium paid internship while attending Diné College?
I think it was more so like the differences from high school into college. You have a different schedule and you have a lot of free time. So I was able to, I had a bunch of free time on my hand, and I thought, why not start now in the professional world? I was in education, and I knew if I wanted to go into that route, then it would require a little bit more experience. So yeah, it was pretty it was pretty well thought out for me. I knew I wanted to seek employment as well, and then just get familiar with all the resources on campus, and of course the externals. So yeah, and I think it was really nice. It was really welcoming in the beginning, so I had to learn a little bit more about the process of applying because I wasn't employed prior. So I spent a lot of my summers in high school with like summer programs, so I didn't really seek employment until I got here. So once I saw the opportunity, I kind of just jumped on it, and it was pretty eye-opening, but also I'm glad I was able to start off early. Thank you.
All righty. Thank you for that answer. And then Vanessa, what motivated you to apply for the Ascendium paid internship program while attending Diné College?
Hello. So for me, it was trying to make my time work. And the difference with the Ascendium program versus others was that, they placed you within an area of your interest, within an area that was applicable to your career path. And so if I was going to take time, in addition to my full-time schedule and my family, I needed to know that it was going to be worth it and not just, anywhere. Because a lot of the interns here, you get placed, you get the job, but I like this one because it was going to put me somewhere where I could gain the skills, and that was important to me. And so, yeah, it was the flexibility with my school schedule that really helped as well. I was able to work it around my classes and my childcare and everything. So, yeah, that was my main motivation, was to get employment on campus that could work around my personal and school schedule, and get me the skills that I needed specific to my degree path.
Awesome. Thank you for that. And we'll go ahead and switch up questions here, Nolan. What specific skills did you gain during your internship that have been valuable in your career?
I think I gained like a lot of skills, and then also with development. But I think the skills that I have really valued and still carry on to this day would be having that mindset of leadership, sort of, and this goes on to with other students as well. But for me, having that kind of leadership skills, it helped me to identify what kinds of other entities I have around me, such as individuals, supervisors that I had worked with, departments across the Net College. And so I was able to look at my peers, my supervisors, my team members, of which I was a part of those departments. I looked at them as as leaders, and having that leadership ability, I was able to look at them, how they carried themselves professionally. So I was able to look at that and identify how they also helped me develop other skills. So the development of those other skills all comes from leadership and having to have those different types of teamwork around you, and to bring awareness to others as well. It's all about encouragement, continuously learning, developing in different areas of the departments I had been with, a part of the Ascendium paid internship. And there was a lot of different duties, responsibilities that I was tasked with. So I took it upon myself, to eventually learn that I had to do this on my own. I had to make these certain decisions for myself, among my classes as a student, among with family time, personally around those different types of schedules that I had, and being able to give my best effort into this type of internship employment that I had. So looking at that, I was able to reflect upon what my weaknesses were, what my challenges were in the past, and then at that time, and then looking at it into the future now, and it's continuously empowering myself and others around me. So that is one of the valuable skills that I encountered in the internship, and carrying it on right now. I still want to develop more on it. So yeah.
Alrighty, and I think this perfectly landed on Christania here. So let's see, how did the internship shape your career interests or alter your professional pathways?
Oh, that is a good question. So I think my very first experience with the internship, as mentioned, we were able to be in places. We were placed in departments that were relating to our major. So I was an education major at the time, and just kind of connecting with students, but also connecting with staff was one of my priorities, since my ultimate career goal was to be a teacher. So the very first internship, I was placed at the gym, so I kind of was doing more so like health education, and then just like data collection, stuff like that. So I really enjoyed it, and then it opened up more employment opportunities for me. I think it was an eye-opener, and it also validated what I was feeling and the career path that I was taking. I knew I wanted to be in education And I know education has like it's such a broad field that you can do a lot of things in education, whether it's in like the early childhood, getting into elementary, high school, higher ed, or even just that bridge from high school to higher ed too. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. I feel like I also worked with the community here at main campus, so I was able to make those connections with students here, the youth, community, and then just colleagues around me. So it made me realize, like, yeah, this is meant to be. This is where I'm supposed to be, and really grateful for it and everything that I took away from it. Thank you.
Cool beans. Alrighty there. Thank you for that answer there. And question for Vanessa. Can you describe a mentorship experience you had during the internship and how it influenced your career decisions?
So I got to give a lot of credit to all the ladies in the office up there. You know, it wasn't one specific person. It was a accumulation of everyone's input during my internship time. You know, it was learning, you know, how they as a team, as an office, as a department, you know, help run the school and everything that's processed, you know, everything from travel to purchase orders to, you know, capital projects, you know, everything starts with your requisition, you know, and learning with each step that goes through, each person that carries each of those steps, you know, working with each of them and all the work that they put into making that function as a whole, you know, that was really driving for me and being interested in learning more about how the business office functions as a whole entity, you know, basically behind the scenes. Nobody sees it. Everyone sees what they submit and what they get at the end. Nobody really knows and understands the process from, you know, from the beginning to end and just how much work that takes. And that was really interesting for me, just to see how many hours, how much effort is put into that. And so mentorship as a whole from the office was really driving for me to want to continue in this field, you know, to look at how all of those functions come together to, you know, run Diné College as a whole.
Cool beans, awesome. One thing that I really liked it about Ascendium is getting that back-end view of Diné College and how an institution or any organization runs itself. So thank you for that there. Coming back to Nolan, question, how did the internship help you build a professional network, and how has that network benefited you since then?
So at the start of my internship, as a student, you know, I didn't really know much, you know, people, departments, what the college, you know, had in terms of resources, assistance for student support, until, you know, I was able to expose myself among other students within the internship. And, you know, with the career education program, they had also had different events for us, and then with the college as a whole, so participating in those, you know, all the resources, the events that they host, I was able to connect with others within the college from department to department, and then getting to know some of the employees here, you know, that had that one-on-one connection with student, as well as with, you know, the staff that just, you know, are just in their office. So having that connection with them, I was able to, you know, grasp the types of operations that they have, their daily operations, their duties, responsibilities that they do for us as students. So given that type of relationship, I was able to establish and improve upon the departments I participated in, events I participated in. I was really able to, you know, understand what it really took for everyone to, you know, put in their efforts for one another, for the organization to work together, teamwork. So that's one of the, you know, ideas that I had, and from that, I was able to, you know, open myself up as a student and eventually as a student employee, and beginning to network with others, beginning to understand that they also need help, for bringing on these different tasks, duties, responsibilities that they have, as well as bringing setting up a event, participating in those different types of events. So all in all, it's all support, and I was able to look at that from department to department, from employee to employee, that it wasn't about one person doing one thing, but it was all about teamwork. And from that, I was able to network out with other departments, getting to know one another, and I eventually had all these opportunities lined up for me, and I had to make tough decisions to come with it. And in terms of having to balance out, like I was saying, balancing out my personal life, my academic, professional life. So since then, I got to understand what it takes to be an employee within the Nick College organization, and also networking out. It has grown a lot for me because I got to know more people, and then with that comes more opportunities.
Alrighty, thank you for that. Alrighty, Chris, Tanya, in what ways did Dannett College prepare you for the challenges you faced during the internship?
Can you repeat that again, Cameo?
Alrighty, so in what ways did Dannett College prepare you for the challenges you faced during your internship?
Yeah, I think one of the main things, if I remember correctly, is we had like monthly meetings. So that was just kind of going into reporting with all the interns. So we would meet, go over program updates, what we were able to achieve. And then we also had like monthly reports that were due, which was really nice. But anything in terms of like conflict, any type of situation, basically, we were supported. So at any point, like, we were able to bring that up. And sometimes we're tough because we were students first. We were definitely understanding the balance of work and school, and just as mentioned, like personal life back home. So I think it opened my eyes in terms of like balancing everything. But I think the Ascendium, the support staff, was also very welcoming and kind of knowledgeable and able to talk that through with us. So yeah, time management is definitely one. Budgeting was another one. The professionalism too, because we kind of just jumped right into it. And then just juggling a bunch of like the tasks and meeting those certain expectations from whether it's direct supervisors or like program supervisors. So yeah, definitely came with a lot of challenges, but we're able to either talk with support staff or just talk with other interns and kind of resolve all of those. But yeah, overall I felt very supported and overcame those challenges in a timely manner too. Yeah, thank you.
Alrighty. So I did find I came across a really interesting one that I wanted the panel to answer. So we'll go ahead and give each of you a chance to answer this, and we'll start off with Vanessa. So can you provide us with an example of how you applied what you learned during your internship to your current job or career?
Okay. So something specific I learned during my internship.
Yeah. And
how it's applied.
Experience and skills.
Documentation. Documentation for policy purposes. There's a lot of reviews, audits, a lot of following up on things, and it all falls back to documentation. And that is something that, as an intern, I help match things up, I help put things together, I help check on things. But now in the position that I am, now that I'm submitting these things, that's one of the things that I try to be ahead of, make sure everything's in place, everything that is requested is there before submission so that we don't, have to come back around to it. And being in the place that we are, we need to push policy, which means we got to abide by policy. And so that was one of the things that I took, not just from my internship, but from also my current position.
Cool beans. Alrighty. And we'll continue with that same question. Nolan, can you provide us an example of how you have applied what you learned during your internship to your current job or career?
I think I would agree with Vanessa. Documentation, following policies, procedures that the Nick College has in place, because as a student intern and being temporarily employed, part-time employed, you also have to follow these certain policies, procedures that the Nick College has in place. I think another would be having that professionalism in terms of identifying what confidentiality is. So working in these different departments that I experienced in, I was also able to reflect upon that, what I had done in these past internships, and going about it now in my current position. I saw that it was very important as a student employment and transitioning over to a full-time employee here at the college. So I think that's one of the big things that you learn as a student intern, and that's what I experienced and learned.
Alrighty. So finishing out with that question, Kristania, can you provide us an example of how you have applied what you learned during your internship to your current career?
Yeah, I think one of the main ones, I think it leads into documentation as well, would just be overall communication, constant communication, and correct communication. I know that there's like the formal, informal, and then following like chain of command, those types of things, because I know like as a college student, I was pretty like shy, wasn't really out there, but this job kind of required me to get out of my shell, which was really nice. I knew that I had to put my best effort into everything. So that's where like the professionalism came into. So like just work attire, and then just being present, punctuality. And then I think one of the main ones too would be like adaptability, because things come up and there's a bunch of change, whether you try to like set a schedule or try to plan, strategize, there's always something that comes up and you do have to adapt to whatever situation it is. So that was my big takeaway too. And like currently, I mean, that's what I'm doing, a bunch of program planning, and that's what I did in my internships, just a bunch of planning, like making sure there's some type of event or some type of learning outcome for the students, whether it was I was interning at the gym or interning under the provost, like there was always planning, implementing, and then moving forward from there. So yeah, definitely carrying a bunch of what I learned in the internship to my current position now. Thank you.
Thank you for that. All righty, starting off with a new question here, Vanessa. What challenges did you encounter during your internship, and how did you overcome them, and how did this contribute to your professionalism, your professional growth? So.
My biggest challenge being a full-time student was actually childcare. So particularly as an internship, it was very helpful that, it was on campus. I was a resident on campus at the time, that there was a Navajo Nation childcare. And so that contributed in a big way to me being able to get my schedule to work with my school, my work, the internship, and my personal life. With that, not being a personal struggle, I was able to focus on work. And, when it became hard for me to make choices as far as, do I do study time or do I do class time? Do I do childcare? Having that opportunity on campus was huge for me. With the internship itself, the challenges on a professional level where, it was learning how things work was a part of it, but a lot of it was learning how people work. They say, networking is a big thing, everyone can follow policy, but understanding how people work and how to approach them to get things done, that was big for me. And it's going to continue that way, getting to know the people on campus, both students and staff, to put things together, to put events together. That was one of the big things that for me was fun and challenging. I was a little bit nervous to approach people, especially people, in the higher office settings, because I was only a student at the time. I'm a little less nervous so now. But yeah, that was my personal biggest challenge, which was childcare, and then learning how, like Christiana said, was to open up and be a little bit more, not forceful, but just forward. So.
All right. Continuing with that, a new question here for Nolan. Did your internship experience lead you to pursue farther education or training? And if so, how or what extra training or education did you pursue?
Yeah, I think, the internship definitely motivated me as a student to, improve upon my academic career, in terms of how I was able to, view how the different operations apply into your field of study. For example, for mine, in my business administration, within the Associate of Arts, at the time, I was, within the human resource department, and I learned, like a lot of different operations that they all do as a department in their different positions. So I was able to look at that and understand, how it really is, within different departments, different organizations. Because there's different processes, policies, procedures that they abide by and, constantly work upon for, for the employees, for the students. And that has, enabled me to look at the different types of careers that I was, planning on pursuing. And through that, I was also able to look at the career of human resource management and business administration, because I like my experience there. I like, the atmosphere, what the different roles, duties, responsibilities that they had as a team, as they worked as a team, and then also the, inclusion of, looking over other departments and how they also, take in the policy and procedures that are in place by the college. So I think that is how it improved me to, higher my education and look at, the different choices, decisions that I will have to make in terms of, my academic career.
All righty, thank you for that. And we'll move to a new question here with Chris Tanya. What advice would you give current Dannett College students considering the Ascendium paid internship program?
Apply. It's a really great opportunity. Not even just like, I think the steps to applying to is really good. It's something that you have an early start on. the application process, resumes, letter of recommendations, the whole process. It's best to start now, and it's also allowing you to gain that type of experience, polishing them, and then just kind of like personalizing them to the specific job that you're applying for. So even that part is an experience. Another one too is just the interview process. Prepping, of course, reviewing your job description, and then just kind of going into your interview knowing with confidence, and then just what you'll gain back, the feedback. It's really, really nice to ask for feedback during that interview process, and then of course the communication after the interview, and then moving forward with the position. I think it's an overall learning experience. So whether you do get the position or not, like there's still more employment opportunities, and it just kind of sets you up for improvement. So you're able to make those adjustments and come back into the next semester stronger, knowing what you learned from the past, and then growing from there. So. I definitely encourage everyone to apply and just treat it professionally, because it is basically the start of your career. It's going to allow you to grow and learn the professional side of your career path. So it's nice to get an early start and develop your skills early, and then that way when you go into jobs outside of the internship, it's a lot easier, and you go in more with confidence. Yeah, thank you.
Alrighty, it's funny that you mentioned the interview process. I can remember you actually sat on one of my first interview panels for the Ascendium, and I remember the question was, what is FERPA? And I was like, oh, that's that program on the 3rd floor. And I thought I really knew what I was talking about, and here to come out, find out FERPA is one of our student compliance policies. So thank you for that. I just kind of brought that back to mind. I was just kind of chuckling in my mind over here while we're going over that. But Vanessa, in what ways do you believe the internship will continue to impact your career in the future?
I think this is both a personal and professional perspective. I would say confidence, maybe even empowerment, understanding within myself that I can balance the many aspects of my life, because it did take a lot of discipline. And I think that's one of the biggest things that I took out of it, balancing my school schedules as a full-time student, my family, because at the time I had 3, I have 4 now. And I'm a full-time employee now. And so discipline is going to be the biggest thing that I took out of it, because I had to be present, as a mother and a wife, but I also had to give my all to my school, and then to learn, how to go about, the internship and everything that I was taking from that. And so I believe the biggest thing that I'm going to take from it is just the confidence and the empowerment within myself that, I can do these things if I just set myself to it.
Thank you for that. Alrighty, we'll go ahead and come back to Nolan here. Nolan, looking back on how did you feel about the combination of Dannett College and the internship has uniquely positioned you for your success?
Can you repeat the question?
So how has participating in the internship and being a student at Dannett College helped you become uniquely positioned for your success?
I think participating, in the Ascendium paid internship program, it has really brought to me, like I was saying, different opportunities from, different departments, and as well as, carrying out the skills of teamwork, collaboration, communication. So it's all about, improving, developing yourself, professionally, as starting from a student, not knowing what kind of resources you have when you're at the college year, and continue on your education with different classes. It brings a lot. What you read in class, what kind of materials that you have access to. It all comes back to how you're going to carry yourself professionally within employment. So looking at that, I think it has really gave me like a lot of reflection upon myself as a student, and what I was able to bring to my workplace with those different kinds of knowledge that I gained from classes, from professors, from lectures, from the different information that you have access to. It really helps you a lot in employment, and I think that's one thing that really helps others, helps other students, looking at how they are, what positions they're in, and being able to share my experiences with them, just being a Dene here among the Taylor community, and what I have to bring for them, how I can help them, sharing insights. So it's all about that communication, support upon others around you. So I think that's what really brings a reflection for me to now.
Alrighty, so we'll go ahead and we'll finish out with this last question, last pre-developed question here, and then I'll give it to the floor to go ahead and maybe ask a question or two. But Kristania, how did the internship contribute to your personal growth and self-confidence in the professional setting?
Really great question. So as mentioned, I was pretty shy, pretty quiet. I was a commuter student, so I was the typical commuter student where I just come here, attend classes, and then head home. I wasn't really engaged, but that's kind of what the internship helped me with. I might be wrong, but I think I was part of that first internship group, Ascendium. So I was really young, and there was a lot of older, like non-traditional and also just returning students who applied, and I felt really young, and I felt really unaware of a lot. Just like I said, I didn't have any experience in employment, as I attended summer programs when I was in high school. So I think the whole process was fairly new to me, but I was willing to learn. It took a lot of, it didn't take a lot actually. I think the student success was really good at like advertising and also just kind of motivating students to apply, like to get on it. So it was kind of echoing everywhere in that building. So once it was mentioned, it wasn't really, it was repetitive after that. So I thought, okay, I'll take advantage of it. So it really allowed me to be myself. I was no longer the shy person that I was when I came in. I was able to learn about the resources on campus, explore a little bit more, and definitely communicate a lot better. I had those interns who were a little older than me, and they would overthink like emails. And I'm just sitting there like, it's just an email, but then that's when like the email etiquette came in, and just being professional with emails. Same thing with like answering phone calls too. So that's where I learned, okay, this is a professional setting, and I do need to practice that. So that was something that really, that was really nice for me to experience early on. And I was in a safe space with my colleagues. Like, they were willing to guide me and willing to help me grow. So I got a lot of feedback from them, whether it was like colleagues, supervisors or other programs that were able to like tell me like, oh, you're doing good in this, you could improve in this area too. So I took all of that in and was able to apply it. But that was professionally, I think it did help me, but also personally, like self-confidence. I knew, like as mentioned, like I could handle the courses and I could handle the workload from on both ends. So not only that, but just like kind of putting a little bit more expectations on myself and exceeding those expectations. That was something that gave me satisfaction and kept me going. So yeah, definitely learned a lot of experience, or from experience I learned the confidence. I did have confidence in myself. I just didn't really, it didn't really bring it out in myself. It was those around me that helped me bring it out. Yeah, thank you.
All righty. And I'm going to go ahead really quickly. Anyone before we do end out end out our Ascendium internship panel, does anybody in the audience have a question for our Ascendium panelists? All righty. So it doesn't look like we have any questions at this time, but what I would like to do is go ahead, Christina, if you could grab me our incentives there. All righty. So I really want to thank and give a huge round of applause to our Ascendium panelists who were able to come up here today and answer some of our questions, give us some feedback, and some information about the Ascendium paid internship. So one time for the Ascendium paid internship panel. Alrighty. And for participating and being so gracious and willing to share your time and come up here and share with us, the Ascendium paid internship program has gifted you something that I hope you'll be able to use on the daily in your office. So these are these awesome Yeti cups here that we got from Diné College for you, from the Ascendium paid internship panel for your willingness to come out here and sit down and answer some questions live on Facebook and in front of some of your peers. So Kehet, and I thank you so much. It's cool. I've got to work with each one of you in some way or somehow, either as a Ascendium staff member and being able to provide that peer mentorship, or working alongside you and being able to be a coworker. So it was cool to work with all of you. I really like to see where the program has gone and where it's going to go in the future, where Ascendium's going to take us with our students, being able to help them grow and see them grow into different professional levels. I'm really, really awesome and happy to see there's 4 of us, and we all came back to DC, so that's another thing that maybe we should start bringing to the table, is seeing how, our internships could actually help build up Diné College staff, because we're dedicated. We're coming back, and we're not only here for the job, but definitely giving back to what gave to us. I definitely come with that thought every day that I do come in, and how can I give back to my not only to my Ascendium students, but to all my students to grow professionally. So Kehet, once again, thank you so much on behalf of the Ascendium paid internship program and career education, for being involved and being able to share with us your stories for our students to guide them down their college and career pathways. Kehet, and thank you once again. The Ascendium paid internship program, the application will start to open up somewhere around late February or March for spring. A couple of things that students are going to need: they're going to have 24 credit hours that were earned at Diné College. They're going to have a 2.0 GPA or better, and they're going to have to be a full-time or a part-time or full-time student for that semester. So look out for that. Like I said, late February or early March, the applications should start coming out, and you'll start seeing how to apply. So go ahead and thank you. You have a wonderful rest of your day out there.